yourself in at this stage. In terms of confidence, however, we're going to be heading to Volskaya Foundry. As you can see, the map pool has been burned through at least a little. TeamNut taking the map choice, which means RPG will be taking the RPG will be moving in for the first pick, first ban. But honestly, if they want to have a chance of beating TeamNut RPG the way they have been playing, even with the return of Loktar, they're going to have to. They need to look sharp, because right now I'm really struggling to work out if they can.
They really need to. They really need to show up big time this time around. Loktar, of course, is a player that many of our Chinese viewers, seasoned veterans, you could call it, will recognize from 2017, one of the most impactful players there. Finally, after 1 year of absence, he has found his way back into HGC China, which is pretty amazing. But can he make that difference? Can one player carry this team out of the all-time low that they've had in their career? That remains to be seen. Especially Sa needs to show up big time. We saw him earlier on the screen. Chicken, I think, has been doing pretty okay. Another person I want to talk about for Team RPG. No, I think actually Chicken is... Chicken, I put all my hopes in Chicken and Loktar. Like, those are going to have to take the lead.
I think so. I agree with you. See, if you play something like Stitches, I'll put him up there.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
he's very volatile.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are they going to start this draft with? Irel is available. Always a hot hero to contest, but they go for the Malfurion. All right. So pretty standard opening up to this point.
TeamNut, though, they are probably going to be completely fine picking up that Irel or even maybe a Dahaka or something along those lines.
Yeah, I wouldn't even hate a Tracer, to be honest. I think this is a really good map for Tracer, but they go for the Decker Cane, securing themselves the, I would say, next top-tier support next to Malfurion before it gets banned against them. The Phoenix, of course, always a nice one to have, especially with Decker Cane. The shielding potions can be so valuable to keep the frail ranged assassin alive. The other hand, RPG could also go for a Tracer. Chicken has played it in the past with a very extraordinary build with the leeching rounds.
And Malfurion does make a lot of sense here. I'm pretty sure with that, I'm pretty sure Loktar did play a Tracer before. Looks like they're confident enough in it.
Yeah.
So here comes the Tracer and a Johanna for C.
Yeah, Chicken on that Tracer, he plays it a little differently in terms of talent builds. We mentioned it briefly. The leeching rounds at level 13 to give herself even more, excuse me, even more lifesteal, right? So you keep Tracer alive for as long as possible with that Malfurion heal. That is, of course, already an easy thing to do. Now, the question is, are they going to go and commit to that double support? It didn't really look so successful yesterday, did it? But still, TeamNut respects it, and they ban away the Tassadar.
I am just checking out Loktar to see how many games
you mean Loktar could also play it?
Yeah, he's the ranged assassin for the team currently. So I would assume so. No, the answer is no, he can't. Or at least, no, he hasn't.
I was going to say, I can't even recall Loktar playing it ever before.
Yeah,
and they still could pick another ranged assassin in a solo laner, so...
So that must have been when they had Infinity on the team.
That is correct.
Because Chicken was the melee at the time still, and is now the melee again. So this is going to potentially be a Tsar Tracer, unless Loktar has trained it up.
Yeah, it's really hard to predict right now which player is going to play which hero for RPG, because in their situation of emergency, they keep swapping roles, they keep swapping players on those roles to find that perfect magical recipe that will really give them the success they so much need. The Blaze already, as a defensive tool actually against the Tracer, picked over the Irel, which is something we definitely don't see every day, not even in China. But the Bunker, of course, offers so much. It can help you against the Pulse Bomb, it can protect you there. Blaze also brings a lot of wave clear to the table. And a Chromie, now, ladies and gentlemen, that, on the other hand, is a Loktar hero. The mage makes a lot of sense for him.
He sure likes his Chromie. It was, he didn't get that many games on it because he sort of alternated with Infinity, but he got a 33% win rate on it when he did play it. It was very effective, and in the very short time he was able to do it.
So I think this is one of the better maps for Chromie, simply due to the fact that the objective normally takes a while until it's capped, if both teams are there in time. So that means that Chromie is going to have much more time to actually land her abilities and stack up her Sandblast. That's the most important thing about it. Also keep in mind that if the enemy team goes, or if they were to go for another melee, TeamNut that is, I think the slowing sands could actually have so much value already. And even without a third melee on their side, I think slowing sands to block off the entry points to the capture zone would be so useful. On the other hand, you could also consider a temporal loop at any given time, right? Because Decker Kane does not have a cleanse. He does not have that panic button sometimes to keep someone safe and sound.
So with that, what are we going to see from TeamNut? Decker Kane, speaking of panic buttons, does not have one. The bunker is a panic button, but it's a little bit slow and is on a longer cooldown, as we are playing on well, yesterday's day before yesterday's patch, as opposed to today/yesterday's patch.
Exactly. So we're still on the second Irel patch. We're not on the, as I would call it, the Jimmy patch.
I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I like the Jimmy patch. Well, why not the Asmo patch?
You know, I'm just not sure if Osmo deserves that much credit. He's never been in that spot, you know, in that special spot that Jimmy has been.
That's true. He has, however, been in the meta before.
Yeah.
I mean, Raider was in the meta for like
also,
a while.
he doesn't give pepper to people.
That's true. He sort of gives sin. And there's a whole lot of sin. I mean, pepper could be a sin, gluttony. Just eat pepper. God, that sounds terrible. Either way, bringing out the Hanzo as the final pick, adding more squishiness, hooray. But if they can stay out of range of Tracer, and if they can dodge Chromie, Hanzo has a very long range. Not as long as it used to be, but very long range. Could still harass Tracer pretty effectively.
Yeah, definitely true. Like one overstepping, one overstaying is all it needs for Tracer to actually regret her life decisions. However, with the exception of maybe the Blaze Bunker and the Garrosh Taunt, I don't really see a lot of counterplay to the Tracer. And the Taunt is a pretty high long cooldown ability. It's not like he has it every single time. And the Blaze Bunker, I don't know, China, I didn't like the Blaze that much here in this region compared to the other regions. It oftentimes felt like the bunkers were either too late or the bunker micro wasn't really there between the individual team members. So Chinese Blazes I don't really like as much as I like them in other regions. So I'm a little skeptical in terms of drafting for TeamNut. But then again, you look at the teams, and TeamNut is just a much better team right now on paper. So maybe they're going to make up for it in other aspects. Who's your favorite? What's your favorite draft in this one? Do you think RPG started off well with this one?
I always have. I mean, at least it's not Genji Chromie. I really always have issues with that comp. Tracer Chromie's a little better for me. But I still feel the more stable comp is TeamNut's. Yeah. Assuming they can play around the Leoric. The Leoric's actually the most impactful point of order here coming in by RPG. So as such, it could be really a pain. So I'm going to stick with TeamNut here. But I think if Chicken can bring that Leoric to bear, never mind if C can bring that Leoric to bear, I think I just saw.
No, C's on Johanna.
Oh, yeah, no, I am incorrect. It's Sa! Okay, that might be worse. As we, on the left-hand side, see Chicken on Tracer, MJ on Malfurion, Sa on Leoric, C playing the Johanna, and Loktar on Chromie.
Yep, and facing them, facing RPG, is TeamNut on the right-hand side. And the Reds with no on Hanzo, FS is playing the tank as Garrosh, Fei on the Blaze, Oasis is playing the Phoenix, and Decker Kane is played by Atui, the key player and definitely a support player on the horizon to be on the lookout for. A rising star, if you will. Now, I do like the player and role distribution here for RPG. I'm not going to lie. I think Sa on the Leoric. True, Leoric is a little more susceptible to dying, but at least it's not going to be as punishing as with other heroes. And Chicken's Tracer has been really solid, has been really good already in the past. So I think they did the right call here. However, with that Leoric in general, I do have a little bit of an issue. While he is great in the early game, great in the lane against Blaze in particular, because he can bully him quite handsomely with the Drain Hope, his overall teamfight value in the mid-late game is has had mixed results, let's put it this way. Whereas teams like the One can pull it off fantastically, other teams have normally struggled quite a bit.
I mean, in terms of late game, then I don't think there is anyone with better late game
Exactly.
value than Leoric.
Past 20, that's going to be really good.
Buried alive. If he goes for it, he might go for March. I really do think he should go for Buried Alive, even though Hanzo and Phoenix can leave. Everyone else is pretty vulnerable. It's a good way to lock down the tank. Speaking of locks down, down goes Locktar.
They get Hanzo, though, as a return kill. No, they can't. And that was a decisive shot call here by TeamNut, realizing, you know what? The enemy team is a little split right now. We see 2 in the middle and 2 top. So what happens if we just invade the middle here between the 2 lanes and try to find a pick? And that's exactly what they did. And finding the little gnome dragon is probably the best target they could have hoped for. Not only do they get a kill, but they also delay the stacking process by Chromie. They broke her rhythm a little bit. They prevent her from becoming stronger. Chromie, by the way, not going for bronze talents. She went for the time trap build here.
True, including at level 1, the Sand Blast at level 1.
Very unusual build.
No, I literally have no idea what that talent is because I've never seen someone take anything that isn't the level 1 vision talent.
I mean, this was a build that we saw last phase already when we observed a lot of the CE games, right? With 365 actually playing on the ranged assassin role there for some of the games. And what it does is actually mounting Sand, hitting 3 heroes or more. Hitting 3 or more consecutive Sand plays. That's the way you do it. Without missing 1, that's very important. You can't miss any. You're gonna basically get additional stacks.
Yep, immediately just misses while we were describing that. And
there
again,
goes another one.
He's struggling in fights. Is the main reason for this. That will stack up pretty effectively here. And then after that, like you said, is the time trap style timely surprise, the extra full cooldown reset, and the Chrono Sickness to make it easier to hit those abilities. So
basically, the name of the game for Chromie here in this game for Locktar is going to be stay safe. You know, make it hard for the enemy team to engage on her or on him. You know, you want to slow them down, especially the Garage, especially the Blaze. And let me tell you this. If you make it to level 18 and you get your Storm Tier Talent, which is the Anderhall Anomaly, which they're probably going to go for, you get 3 of those time traps, right? So that's 3 times the chance of slowing people, of resetting your basic abilities cooldown thanks to level 4. So this is going to be a very pesky late game build. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, they need to get there because yet again, a member of RPG has fallen. This time it was C on the Johanna. TeamNut already building up so much pressure.
90% already on the Protector control point as level 7 is hit. Tracer has gone for untouchable, and I think, considering how this game is going so far, that is ambitious.
Very, very ambitious and brave indeed. And another pick on the side of TeamNut here. Not only do they get the Malfurion, but they also shut down his healing with the Emerald Cube by Decker Kane. Such a wonderful tool to basically keep enemies healing at bay. And I think RPG, you know, with falling victim to those assaults and ganks by TeamNut over and over again, they're just going to give up this first Protector, and they're going to try to maybe stabilize it later into the game. Well, hold that thought. C is actually stepping on the platform. Chicken with a flanking Tracer maneuver here.
Throw me damage, actually landing on no. The Pulse Bomb does not, but it's still enough for the kill. Chicken completely cutting off the escape route. They get the kill. Nice stun there with the Groundbreaker by the FS. They move forward. Good dodge onto the Blaze. Where is Leoric? He is
in base. He just respawned
for some reason.
Or teleported back, yeah.
He must have. As Chicken pulling back, trying to avoid the damage. C is dropping low. They are outnumbered right now. They're really struggling. Hanzo has respawned though. Here is Leoric. This is going to allow them to actually contest. They just get it in time. Turret going to get taken out by Sar. He's tanking through for the moment. Careful of the scroll. They get caught in the scroll, but Johanna buys them some time by stunning the backline, giving Tracer time to move out of the route and keep the damage output coming. But with no arriving, scatter arrows are going to ping huge damage numbers. And this is going to be a retreat by C. C will survive, Sar won't.
Yeah, that was really, really well played by TeamNut. It looked like RPG had stabilized, you know, with Sa arriving on that Leoric in the nick of time, preventing the early Protector. But with all that skirmishing going down on the platform, they completely forgot to deal with one person, and that was the Phoenix. So much consistent damage coming in, especially with his bombs in long range, and thanks to that level 1 talent, the splash is absolutely ridiculous. At least they bought themselves a little bit of time. You can see how Chromie was able to actually stack up very nicely, 32 stacks now after a little bit of a rough game, and especially against big piloted targets like, let's say, the Protector, the Dragon Knight, for example. It's normally quite easy to stack up on the Chromie, but unfortunately she's currently dealing with the bottom lane. She needs to get that soak over there. And a little bit of a skirmish going down here as well in the middle. But the good thing also is for RPG that Tracer was able to get one stack. So she didn't die, got one stack of Untouchable. So if they ramp it up, if they gear up for that mid-late game with the Chromie stacking, with the Tracer stacking, I think they're going to have an absurd amount of damage.
That looks like it's going to be the plan. With Temporal Loop as well, the idea just to grab kill after kill and basically potentially just give up objectives. That looks like what we might end up seeing. They're going to try and go for Blaze here, who just dashes away. Sandblast not landing this time. Time Trap placed down. Chromie takes a very odd route. Has to keep going the long way round to not get caught out of position.
Uh-oh, speaking of getting caught out of position, Lokhtar is in a lot of trouble. No way he's going to make it back in time. Didn't even have bye-bye or timeout. Nothing to save the little gnome for now.
We'll have one in several levels time, in 2 levels time. No, it's 1 level's time. It's 2 levels earlier. But here, at level 10, for both teams, the Heroics available. We already saw that Dragon Arrow coming out. The Z gets completely denied. The turret already taken. The room was good, though. Chicky going deep into the backline. Pulse Bomb, the damage is dodged. Here comes the salvo. Huge damage onto Saar. C attacks through most of it, but Saar sort of goes down. And C, with that healing reduction, gets absolutely destroyed.
And see, that is just a really poor call in terms of how you want to flank somebody. Like, they should have actually known that they're too spread out, right? You could see how C was arriving too late to the party. Leoric was basically all by himself. Tracer missed the pulse bomb, although that was not really Chicken's misplay, rather than no aces on the Phoenix, just paying godlike attention to it, dodging the damage completely with that teleport. You have that short moment of invulnerability there in the teleport. So that was really well played by TeamNut, and just too reckless, too aggressive once again by RPG. They really need to pick their fights a little more carefully.
This is what they want, though. They want to play aggressive, unfortunately. Even though it's going to make them fall behind a little bit, it is stacking them towards the late game. Tracer still has her stacks. Chromie is building up. We have no idea what she's on. But FS looking for Saar. This time Saar. Wraith walks away without any difficulties. As XP continues to be soaked for RPG. They're happy to wait until level 13 at least.
Yeah, level 13 would indeed be very nice for them. Chromie now, of course, has that timeout available, so her trade really starting to kick in over there. And Leoric, we mentioned it, Tetcher, he did go for the Entomb, right? So finding those targets and catching them with an Entomb makes it really easy for Tracer and Chromie to collapse upon him. So especially, of course, the Hanzo and the Phoenix, those would be the golden targets, but both of those heroes do have escape mechanisms, so ideally you're going to wait until they use it. You're going to pressure them a little beforehand by using Temporal Loop, for example, and just when they use that teleport, just when they use that wall jump, can you then land a nice Entomb and collapse on them.
C, not even using his Condemn to pull those ranged mercenaries into range of the fort. Instead, they just let them take a couple shots and then kill them in their positioning with the help of Chromie. I think a little bit of a misplay. He was already demounted. He knew where the enemy was. He had Iron Skin. Could have potentially saved a little bit of core health there. Fort health.
That is a really good play, though, with so much focus being put on the upper half of the map. It is Tracer and Leoric stealing, or at least attempting to steal that turret, but look at TeamNut. They're not having any of it. They're coming back, defending it, and successfully doing so. So they're basically like, thank you, RPG, for weakening it down for us. We're going to take over from now.
Yep, turret is still taken. Objective is in the top lane and already available. RPG, they are going to grab their own turret, so they are going to have at least something to come here, but look at this. 3 turrets, 1 healing pulse in control of TeamNut. That's going to be so hard to move into.
There's going to be a whole lot of SimCity here. They're going to build up so many towers and the healing pulse as well. It's going to be a real fortress, basically, they have to break through, RPG, that is, and I'm not sure if they're willing to do that. So maybe what we're going to see here is them trying to fake an engage, so that TeamNut might panic and use all of their items at once, and then either giving it up or reinitiating a little later. But do you really want to give up a protector like that? That is the blessing and the curse at the same time on Volskaya Foundry sometimes. The protector is so strong. If you get it, you're in a mighty good spot, but if you lose it, you're going to be in a world of pain.
Chicken keeps his theme of going for the leeching rounds coming in. It's interesting talent. It's decent sustain-wise, not decent most other ways. As see the Bash Shield come in, they go for a big burst onto Hanzo. Nice kill there with the Entomb onto the Decade, who immediately gets into the bunker to keep himself safe as everyone else is already woken up. Faye is now at the target. He's already blown the bunker, so they know to focus him down. In the meantime, though, C is dying.
No, he's
Oh,
not.
Iron Skin, he gets out. Chicken, he has anti-kill on him, but he's still moving forward, looking for Oasis, seeing if he can pick up yet another kill and another stack. In the meantime, they have at least prevented the Protector going over, as Oasis is full to teleport out.
Yeah, good play by Saw there. Actually, not overcommitting, not following all the way through to the towers, and they get a pulse bump onto the Decker Kane. He survives for now, and all the members of TeamNut are still mighty healthy. What we can say about Saw and C, the front line is crumbling and shattering by RPG. Ooh, that Dragon's Arrow missing just barely. The damage dealers, though, Chicken and Loktar, they're still looking okay, but I don't think they can do this. The superior sustained by Decker Kane once again proves to be superior.
Yeah, Deckard somehow surviving all of that burst from the Traitor and the Chromie. Really nice to see. But this was the kind of fight RPG we're looking for. Longer, more extended, giving stacks to Chromie, so she's going to be much closer.
Missed one there, unfortunately.
Predicted shot there, yeah. Pretty sure that one landed.
Yeah.
But having that, Tracer survived as well, so more stacks addicts. They were able to pick up a kill during that fight. These are the kind of fights they want. I'm sure they would just also prefer to not be 2 levels behind.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 2-level difference here, right? That is a big reason, I think, also why they weren't able to win a team fight that was 5 versus 4 in their favor, right? They just didn't have the punch. They didn't have the damage yet to really finish off that beefy front line that TeamNut has with... Oh, pay attention to Saw here. You can't take too many of those protector shots, but the Drain Hope is getting so much value against those heroic map objectives. Really good stuff here, and I think that alone is the reason, or not really that alone, but that is one of the reasons why the Protector can really push all the way through to the keep. 52 stacks. We're starting to get there. Not that much left for Chromie until the Sand Clone is going to be unleashed. Saw, careful here, buddy.
It's going to be spotted. It's going to immediately drop the Drain, keeping himself alive. Wraith Walk with the Ominous Wraith. Says absolutely none of that, and is able to escape. Oh no, it's not the Ominous Wraith. Wait, no, is that Crushing Hope?
That should be it, yeah. So they basically get bonus damage if the Drain Hope channels all the way through here. They're trying to make that happen right there. Didn't really work out too well. The Entomb on a Garrosh. I'm not sure if you want to go for that in particular. So yeah, Crushing Hope, and then at 16 we're probably going to see yet another W talent.
It's not Crushing Hope, it's Hardened Bones. More sustain for Saw here. Gain 20 armor while Drain Hope is active. If Drain Hope lasts its full duration, you retain the armor bonus for 3 seconds.
The thing is, are we going to see the cooldown reduction at 16 then? Is he going full W build?
Well, the cooldown reduction, Crushing Hope is the talent on level 16.
Oh, okay, so he could have chosen...
You're thinking of Unyielding Despair, which is a 13 talent.
There we go. Yeah, now we've got all of our W talents
Chicken,
there.
Save the stacks! Save the stacks!
Oh,
Chicken
so much
alive.
damage!
No one else is. These sandbars are coming out, but look at the level and health difference is too high. Dodges the stun. Malfurion should be able to escape here. Chicken once again goes in, but those stacks need to be protected. Gets the Hanzo, gets himself another stack actually. He's moving forward. Chicken's popping off. He's looking to carry.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's trying to go for the lowest target, which is currently the Garrosh. Now he's switching over to a Tui on that Deckard. I like that transition really a lot here. And is he going to take him down all by himself, though? He's so healthy still. The Malfurion heals are so powerful, but they barely don't get him. Loktar! I can't believe that W hits Deckard Kane is a goner.
Loktar not able to land the kill at Tui. The great escape there, being able to get out, but this was a good turnaround coming in from RPG. They now have Loktar stacks. They have 4 stacks on Untouchable. This is
Entomb.
Another kill is what this is. There's a huge amount of damage. Down goes the Garrosh.
And now with level 16, as you predicted, Tetra, the Crushing Hope is online. A full W build, ignoring the armor of Garrosh completely. Well, speaking of ignoring things, that salvo, that Purification salvo was ignored for the most part, only hitting Sound. That Leoric wasn't even slowed, didn't even care. So, RPG, a sign of life here. This is probably the strongest face in the game they've been in up to this point. The ramping stacks are coming into play. We see more and more Chromie damage, more and more Tracer damage to be exact.
Yeah,
and I don't think this game is over yet.
I don't think it's over either. I might be, I'm starting to get surprised that that hopelessness combined with the extra range and the Crushing Hope. Sorry, the hopelessness is the extra range. combined with the crushing hope and the extra armor makes Yorick really hard to kill while actually putting a lot of pressure onto Garrosh. Tracer is going to have the ability to nice little dragon arrow and Fido.
Nice catch.
Nice little kill. Chicken needs to leave though. Takes a huge amount of damage. Needs to be careful. Those stacks must be protected. Currently on 5.
You can really see the leeching plasma actually doing its work, right? It's such a hard to kill Tracer. Now the problem is they do have 47 seconds until Hanzo comes back. I'm not sure that's enough time though to completely take over the platform in the bottom. They certainly will try though, with Leoric taking over double soaking duty, so the level 20 will be a little closer in their reach. Question is, can they get it in time? Is TeamNut going to try and recapture the platform? For now, they're putting their focus elsewhere. They're trying to get more items to basically gear up for a late game fight, and with a healing pulse, that is certainly going to be a valuable asset. Chromie, by the way, Androhol anomaly, she can now place down a minefield around that capture zone, right? Up to 3 sand traps, who are all going to slow, who are all going to reset her basic abilities. That is now a scary looking build.
It really is, though. She could, in theory, get all those resets, and that could be absolutely massive. Let's see, you can already see the time traps surrounding the area. First salvo. Boom. Who's going next? Tracer, time, just casually killing in the background. Will be able to get the kill. Dragon Arrow is dodged. Chicken, though, getting focused. The Entomb saves Tracer, and Sar getting Chicken out of there as Noctar. Siege is in the damage.
That was such a big win. Not only is the Protector now launched and live for RPG, but they also killed the enemy team's support. And without the support, they cannot defend this. They have no sustain except the healing pulse, and the fort is not worth defending. So they're just going to have to run and try to prevent further undoing coming in from RPG. And I think this should be a safe keep if they play it correctly. But Malfrine is inside. Tracer needs to be super careful. Maybe they should even send Tracer inside.
Yeah, that would certainly protect the stacks. But for now, they seem pretty comfortable, just poking in the damage. Using Tracer, keeping her out just in case they need an Executor. In comes the Protector very aggressively. Doesn't land the root. Able to take down the front wall, down to half health on this Protector.
Malfurion, get out of there. Drop a heal on Chicken. He needs it. There we go.
And back in. Keeping that support safe. Now, do they have that root off cooldown again? Gonna move on to Oasis. There's the Entomb onto the Garrosh, and he will not die. Nice bunker there. Salvo comes out, doesn't do that much damage. Keep is being uncontested. They're just going for kills instead. Nice bunker micro again by Fei.
The problem is right now, really, this Malfurion could keep everybody alive, which would allow them to actually siege a little harder, right? So just put the Leoric inside, put the Tracer inside, because those heroes normally don't add a lot of sieging value, right? Chromie's important. Long distance barrage, and now they're doing it. Finally, Leoric is inside, but is it too little too late already? Look at that Protector health. I think they should have changed the pilots inside a long time ago. They might have actually given out. Whoa! Did you see that damage from Loktar, fully unleashed on the Hanzo, and now with a 5-on-4, this should be a keep after all.
Sar's doing a lot of damage, but they have to back up. The only thing tanking right there was the Treant, and as such, it died, and they had to pull back. However, now the minions are arriving. They're going to begin to move in. Phoenix to clear those out as quick as possible to stop this push. In comes the Entomb, free with the 20, but not the upgrade, as they look for Garrosh, but again, Bunker denying it, but they do get the keep.
Leoric win for the Hardened Shield there, by the way. Getting a little more tankiness there at level 20. Much needed. Chicken needs to be careful. Oasis can still hit like a truck on that Phoenix.
Chicken went for the heal recall, but basically he returns to the original health he was at as well when he recalled.
By the way, quick correction here. Leoric, of course, doesn't have Hardened Shield, but he's got his own version, the Shroud of the Dead King, which is... if you put it, actually pretty solid too. It turns Leoric invulnerable. It doesn't reduce the damage by 75 like Hardened Shield would, but he becomes like a pre-reworked variant, if you will.
Yeah, activate to become protected for 3 seconds. Difference is, it is a 75-second cooldown. You can see them moving in. Here comes the salvo. Blocked completely by Leoric, who continues to move forward, but he is silenced. C in trouble, taking all of that damage. Indestructible, keeping him alive, though. In the meantime, Garrosh and the Deckard already dead in the backline. This Chicken is just pinging all the damage. Salvo coming out again. MJ eats it, but the Tranquility keeps him alive. Chicken recalls out, dodges the blaze. He actually gets hit by the blaze anyway, but Fei has gone way too deep and will get taken out.
RPG hyper, because they're absolutely in command right now with that late game damage that we talked about, ramping up, scaling up so nicely with the Tracer. with the Chromie, most importantly. They're just demolishing TeamNut right now. They're dismantling even a tanky Garage. Now they have the Healing Pulse available, and this might very well just be the core call. Tracer at this point is dealing so much damage thanks to the Unstoppable, and I think they have enough damage, and they could probably do it.
It's the damage dealers who are alive here for TeamNut. This is possible. No, dodges. Yeets the bomb. Doesn't get hit by the Moonfire, but he's got no health as they begin moving in. Oasis gets absolutely chunked, forced to back up. Here comes Garage. This is the last-ditch effort, basically. Taunt is available. He is dying. Dragon Arrow only hits Chromie and the Malfurion here. Play the game for the extra damage as they move forward. There's a catapult on the core. They're trying to zone away. Everyone's about to be up. This could be the defense from Nut.
I think they bought enough time, TeamNut, that is. They distracted RPG long enough there with that focus on the Hanzo, for example, the focus on the Phoenix, that they are not brave enough to actually try and finish this out. As you said, everybody came back, and with those long delaying tools, for example, the Bunker, most importantly, the Stay a While and Listen from Deckard Cain, they could have bought so much time defending that core, TeamNut, that is. So at this point, when you're RPG, and you really need to get those points, right? You really need to get the success moment. I'm fine with calling back here, because you can always come back later. Those last teamfights have been going so well for them. Why couldn't they do it again and finish the game later?
A 50% core with a Protector at the 23-minute mark will be GG. TeamNut have to fight this. If they don't get this Protector, it's game over. Faye tanking through Leoric and Tracer, Chicken and Sa, both pulling back. In comes Garrosh from the other side.
Tracer with a flank.
Tracer from the back line takes out No. Huge play here.
Oh, the Phoenix doesn't look for
Oasis as well over the wall, drops the turret even. And Oasis, Indomitable Spirit, is leeching rounds enough as Chicken takes down Oasis. It's absolutely insane. They're moving on to the core.
They're moving on to the core. There's no more damage available for TeamNut, right? No Hanzo, no Phoenix. How are they going to stop this? How are they going to pressure RPG away at this point? Everyone is alive right now. The core is at 53. They just need to focus down the core. If they waste too much time again, there is so much delay.
It's nap time. This is the last-ditch effort. They're all silent, giving at least a chance as Faye goes down. No, he's tossed away. Surviving at least for the moment. The health bars are dropping low. Huge play by Garrosh to group everyone up here, allowing for this turnaround. Now Locktar's in danger, tossed into the old man Deckard, who gets deleted.
Oh boy.
Locktar is going to die, though. He's got no way out. But, oh, hang on. He might have a way out. Oh, my God, if Locktar gets out. Okay. As FS, he will survive as well, but FS just did an absolute clutch play for his team. If he hadn't been able to pull that off, that would have been a game over. He just saved his team the game.
Wait a minute!
Downtown Dragon Arrow and see you.
Play of the game!
C will actually survive the Blessed Shield. I'm pretty sure he still has Indestructible as well as he gets out.
Wow, the movement speed at level 16 here for Johanna after popping the Iron Skin and then taking damage upon it. That saved his life right there, but a huge arrow coming in all the way from the Hollow Storms, almost securing them yet another huge staggered death. But Tetcher, that core attempt, it was so sloppy. They didn't even focus down the core. They got distracted over and over again. The Bunker, the Stay a While and Listen. We talked about this. The taunt as well. They focused so hard on killing the remaining team members by TeamNut that they forgot about the core, which had been dealing splash damage all over the place. And they also didn't go for the Protector. Like, if you're not confident in your core racing abilities or your core calls, then just take the Protector and have a 100% win.
There's the Entomb. Stun. Groundbreaker does not land. Where's Deckard? He needs the healing. Deckard's dead. Bunker. Fallen sustain. Deckard has finally arrived. Heals for Garrosh, please. So that he can actually sustain through this. Gets the shield. They're holding the ground. 99. The contestation begins. It's 5 versus 5. Whoever gets this could probably end the game if TeamNut are able to push through a keep, and if RPG get it, it's game over for TeamNut. As they move onto the point, the anti-healing is dropped, the salvo is interrupted immediately, as Tracer drops into the backline looking for Hanzo. The damage is huge, Hanzo goes down, but the counter kill onto Johanna allows them to push forwards. Chromie is sieging in from behind. Leoric will get taken out here. Huge damage, salvo finally going off, looking for the Malfurion. It's a 2-for-1 as the Protector is picked up by TeamNut.
And if only C on the Johanna had dodged the arrow before, then his Indestructible wouldn't have popped. His survivability... actually, it didn't pop. Never mind. That was my mistake. It was still from the core call. If only they had played that core call, though, more cleanly, then they would have had the Indestructible, or they would have won the game. So, either way... Oh, no. Chicken...
the base race.
Chicken in a Hail Mary. Can he do it all by himself? Catapults on the core?
There's 2 catapults. The Protector, it's a 53% core race with catapults and Tracer versus the
time traps
entirety
on the Protector.
of the time
Another
traps on
one.
the Protector. 43, 38. Is
I think they can do it.
turning to deal with this? Tracer is racing down
10,
the core
6.
for
Oh.
RPG. And Tracer Chicken takes game number 1 for RPG.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the value of Anderhull Anomaly. You put it down, you keep that Protector frozen in time several times, actually. Locktar with the MVP plays. Chicken also with the backdoor calls, so smart. 2 catapults on the core helping him out in that regard. And RPG with a sneaky win, but a win nonetheless.